We already have the lights up. This is how you know I'm happy. Welcome, my friends, to another full day of eating as a vegan bodybuilder who is ending a bulk in the next couple of weeks. So I'm trying to really get those last calories. Christmas is alive and well. I hope you guys are celebrating because it's my favorite time of the year. Let me show you guys what I'm having for breakfast. So the sun is now coming up. It was still dark when I was using the bathroom this morning. So I've got 16 ounces of coconut water. This has been a habit of mine lately. I really like drinking this in the morning as my water. Of course, I'll drink more water too, but like as part of my water. So I'll try to get around 40 ounces before my workout today this morning. And I just really like it. It's tasty. I really love coconut water, but it also has some insane amount of potassium. In this whole can, there's over 500 milligrams of potassium. So that's really good for workouts and just in general being awesome. And then I've also been rotating between making my normal smoothie in the morning and just having a big ass cup of watermelon. So you can see how deep this is. Bunch of different watermelons just cut up and stuff. And lately, if you saw my last episode of Hercules yesterday, you know that I've been trying to get as much fruit into my diet as possible just to add calories to the regular stuff I'm already eating. Dun, 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 dun. I love coconut water.
So yummy. Hi. You running around getting all dirty? You rolling around in the dirt, huh? You rolling around in the dirt.
All right, so now I have gotten back from the gym. I had a phone call, like a business phone call. I'm off, I'm ready to go. I'm taking my mom over to my grandma's house. And I have this weird drink right here. So what's inside of this drink is about 4 or 5 tablespoons of chia seeds and then just a whole 250 calories worth of orange juice and mango juices from Naked. I just put this in the fridge overnight and then it kind of like gelatinizes and turns into this really weird goo. Like if you have never tried this before, you're probably gonna sip a little bit of it and gag because it's so funky, but I really like it. I think it tastes amazing. So I'm drinking this to get some extra calories in while I take my mom to grandma's. And then I'm coming home to make some chili. All right, so we're back at the house now and I'm about to make myself some chili. Now this is a tip that I wish I had known for so much longer than I have. I only recently found this out about a month or two ago, but chili is just basically chopped tomatoes as the base. You add some sort of herb in there, so like cayenne, chili pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, any sort of those herbs and spices that you like, cumin, and that's pretty much it. Then you just add whatever bits you want into it. So if you want beans in there, if you want corn in there, or whatever it is, you can add it in there. So right now I'm making some chili, and what I've done is I chopped up a whole white onion into little dices. I have some mushrooms in the frying pan that are sliced up that are getting sauteed first. Then I'm gonna include the onions because they'll cook a little bit less time than the onions will, because they'll cook a little bit less time than the mushrooms will. And then I'm gonna add some diced garlic in there just for like the last 2 minutes or so. And then it'll be time to add the herbs and stuff. So I'll show you guys what we're gonna do for that. All right, as you can tell, this already looks absolutely amazing. This is a freaking delicious base for anything that you would go on to with this part of the recipe. You could make any type of food with this. It could be a stir fry after this. But now we're gonna add what makes this a really delicious chili. We're gonna add different herbs and spices. So for my chili, I'm gonna do about 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. I'm gonna do a full teaspoon of cayenne. And I'm just winging this. I'm really hoping that it all works out and tastes good. And then this bag is unlabeled, but this is cumin, and I'm gonna add about a teaspoon in here as well. So I just overpacked a 1/2 teaspoon there. Finally, I'm gonna rock some Himalayan pink salt just because salt always makes things better. And of course, I gotta get those trace minerals because it's Himalayan pink salt, baby. Woo, it's getting me. And a little bit of pepper. Now we're just gonna toss all this together so that it gets all the dry ingredients mixed onto the vegetables there. All right, and then the ingredient that makes this a chili, just gonna put some stewed, sliced, or chopped tomatoes in there. These are gonna kind of break down as it goes, and it's gonna make the soup, the base of it. Okay, so I kind of expected the sliced tomatoes to fill up more space, so I'm actually gonna add a little bit of some tomato paste as well, just a whole little can of it. This is 10 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm just doing this, to add a little bit more volume because it looks like it needs just a little bit more of the actual sauce to the chili. All right, now that I've added that paste in there, it doesn't look liquidy enough to me, so I'm gonna add a cup of hot water, and then what I can do is if I add too much water, if this is too liquidy, is I can just continue cooking it until that water evaporates out. All right, so it's been simmering for a while, and now I'm gonna finally add the solid to it. So I was gonna do some kidney beans and some garbanzo beans, but I'm only gonna do the kidney beans just because I wanna make my life a little bit more simple. Instead of opening half can of this, half can of garbanzo beans, I'm gonna just do the whole can of this. That way I don't have to do any like conserving or anything like that. I can just use this. So one whole can of kidney beans in there, and this is done. Just gotta mix it up, let it simmer for probably another minute or two, and then plate it. So what happened next is I started slicing up my potatoes because I was gonna do a big potato dish. So I just cut them into little 1/8" discs and then layer them all around a big cast iron skillet, kind of overlapping each other. And then I just used a little olive oil on the bottom of the pan as well as on top of each of those, just a little bit. I'd probably say about 4 tablespoons total. And then salted it, peppered it, put it in the oven. And right when this happened, my pops actually called me up. And my pops is a mechanic, so sometimes he'll keep his eye open for used cars that he can buy, fix, and sell them for more. And right now he has one that's in a nearby city, so I have to help him drive there because if he buys it, then he needs to be able to take the car he took there and the car that he just bought away. So I'm gonna go up there, see if the car is any good, get to relax and talk with my pop for a little bit in the car, and then we'll come back and these potatoes will theoretically be done by then and hopefully not burnt. So that was really cool. We showed up to this guy's house and he comes out, and we aren't sure because, you know, we never met this guy before, we know nothing about this guy, if he's gonna be nice or not. And we're kind of, you know, everyone's kind of like quiet a little bit because it's a business thing, you know, it's like a very serious situation and everything. And so everyone's being kind of like stern and serious and not talking too much, right? Because we're all talking prices, business, all that kind of stuff. And the guy turns to me and says, are you still in college? And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I graduated from college and then decided not to go on further with my degrees, and I do YouTube. And then so he's like, what do you do? And he's explaining, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I have like a vegan series where I do like a full day eating. I show people what to eat. And he was like, you're vegan? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm vegan. My wife's vegan. It was the most random thing ever, so cool. He and his wife have gone vegan in the last month. I thought that was really cool, and it kind of just showed that the impact of veganism and the message and stuff is definitely getting out, because I think he said he was 60 and his wife was somewhere around 70, and that doesn't seem to be the normal demographic, but it seems like it's getting out there, so I thought that was really cool. Okay, so now we are at the gas station. My pop's putting gas in the Buick here, but anyway, Sam has sent me a picture. It looks like my potatoes are done, so what we've done is just turn the oven off, so hopefully that will keep them warm, but not overcooked. Whew! All right. Whew, we are back at the house now. Let's see what these potatoes are looking like. They actually look really good. These don't look, yeah, these look perfect. They're like lukewarm. I told baby girl just turn the oven off, so it's just been sitting here for like 20 minutes. And they look great, man. Just throw some ketchup on this. It's gonna be real tasty. So I was gonna do like a green bean casserole with this, but I'm gonna eat this now because I'm starving. And then I'm gonna do that green bean casserole along with like a big turkey dinner thing, because I've been kind of craving that same Thanksgiving dinner we had last week. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna get my ketchup out the fridge and eat these potatoes first. All right, so that I was craving that green bean casserole I had at Thanksgiving, so you can rewind it here for the ingredients. I'm just gonna show you what I had, but also the recipe will be below the video. There'll be a link to it. You guys can check that out. But first things first, just sauteing a bunch of mushrooms and letting those kind of get the water out and cook down a little bit. So then we're just gonna add the 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and then also the couple cloves of garlic. We always go a little bit higher in the recipe than it calls for with garlic because it's freaking good. So we just let it cook for about a minute with those dry ingredients included, and then we're just gonna add the flour to the top of this. Let this cook for another minute, and then we're ready to finally put all the liquids in. This is an easy recipe. It seems like there's a lot of ingredients, but once you get it down, it's very, very quick. I really like this recipe because it has a good amount of salt in it, but it doesn't have a lot of fat in it. It doesn't have a ton of calories, but you're able to get, you know, like a pound of green beans down really easily. Now, this whole Thanksgiving theme type of thing came around because Vistro sent me out a bunch of different turkey dinners and Thanksgiving kind of things, and I was just feeling festive. I wanted to eat this kind of stuff. So right now, baby girl is making some mashed potatoes, and I'm just unwrapping the Vistro packages and putting them on a sheet so that they can cook in the oven. But these things look super good. Vistro is a meal prep company, so they make meals pre-made, send it to you, and then you just heat them up and eat them. It's a really convenient service if you need that kind of a thing. So while the Vistro is in the oven, everything else is finishing up, so the green bean casserole looks super good. It was amazing. Baby girl's got the mashed potatoes, and we got gravy on the side there. Goodbye, terrible beard. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a turkey piece right here. This looks really good. It's got some gravy on it, some mushrooms. It looks amazing. Mmm. The texture on that is amazing. Okay, and then the macaroni. Tammy's favorite, as we all know. Mmm. It's creamy. Yay. This is the thing with me with mac and cheese is I want it to be creamy. And that's really creamy. That's super good. And then the veggies over here. I like that the veggies they have like a char on them. It's really impressive how like crispy they get the vegetables. Brussels sprout, amazing. Shout out to Eric the Electric. He's the one who turned me on to Brussels sprouts. Yeah, this is really awesome. Shout out to Bistro for sending me this. They're only gonna have this until the end of December. So if you wanna try any of this, you absolutely should. I like the company a lot. This is for people who, you know, like don't have a lot of time, or you just like want food that's meal prepped for you. If you don't have time to meal prep and you're trying to stay on course with your diet, definitely try this stuff out. We also have a pecan pie that we're gonna try in a little bit, so we'll show you that in a second. This is the green bean casserole that we made last weekend. But it's funny, she was craving mashed potatoes, so we had to do that. I had some gravy left over from tofurkey, and then I was craving green bean casserole because this has like very little fat in it, but it tastes so good, and you just blast all of these veggies. So I highly recommend checking out this recipe because it's an easy way, again, to get tons of greens in, but it actually tastes really good. Yeah, it's all pretty straight up ingredients. I like that there's not like food coloring and things like that. All right, so we're gonna try this out. I'm gonna go first. Dude, this company kicks ass. Ready?
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
And so after that huge feast, the last thing I wanted to have before I went to bed was some fruits, just for the extra calories so that I could get a better workout the next day, but also just to get some extra water in because that's a great way to hydrate as well. So I cut myself a baby watermelon in half, had that whole thing, threw some grapes in a cup and had that. And that was the last thing that I had for this full day of eating. I want to take a second and say thank you guys so much because you have been giving me this huge inertia of movement, this huge momentum forward with all your support on everything that I'm doing, with the vlogs even that did get a little bit less views. There's still tons of comments, people saying how much they appreciate them, how much they want them more. People are DMing me all the time saying my energy brings energy up. Like all this stuff just feeds back in. It just makes me so excited to make more content, and it's just been feeling really good. All the stuff I've been doing lately has been feeling really good, so thank you guys for that. If you've never heard of my second channel, you should definitely check that out. I'm starting to get way more active over there with a couple of side things that I'm really into that don't really fit here on the main channel, so check that out. If you haven't checked out my podcast, definitely also check that one out, brianspodcast.com. A lot of different stuff with trying to improve your life, how to become motivated, how to look at things with a different perspective, and a few kind of random topics. The whole thing is just really entertaining, so check that out, brianspodcast.com. And if you're someone who uses Amazon, especially for the holiday shopping that you're about to do, you can use my link, amazonbrian.com. It'll redirect you to the homepage of Amazon. For the rest of 24 hours, anything that you decide to purchase on Amazon will get a small commission, like 2 to 5% of it, and it doesn't cost you a single dime, but it helps support the channel. And we're about to get a new camera, so I'm just doing some studying and researching on which one I want to do, but you're gonna see some major upgrades coming in the channel soon. I'm really pumped about that. One last channel related update before I sign off for you guys. If you want to, you can check out my Apple Music ID, which is Brian Turner Official, just like my Instagram. If you want to follow along, see what I listen to my playlists, things like that, because a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a Spotify, and I do not mess with Spotify. Apple Music is my jam. Thank you guys for coming into these videos, these full day eatings, and always showing support. Definitely give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Giving a thumbs up the first couple of hours that a video is up helps it get out to the rest of the people who are subscribed to that channel, so always remember that when you're supporting people that you enjoy the content from. Make sure you leave a comment, let me know what you thought below, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Team Beyond the Week, CT.
Lift heavy or die Myron, motherfucker.
Team Beyond the Week.